Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Infinite Crypto Cruisers. My name's Brad Varnell. This is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. And today I have an amazing guest that I'm going to bring on to the show here in just a moment. But I want to introduce this young man. At least he's young to me. I'm 49. He recently turned 26. And I just have a whole lot of respect for him and the wisdom that he has procured in his 26 years. If you go check out his Twitter feed, you can just see wisdom and nugget after nugget about how to be successful, not only in crypto, but in life. He's the kind of man that I would love for my 16-year-old son to get to know and follow in his footsteps. And I'm super excited that he agreed to take some of his valuable time and share some of his insights with us today on the channel. So without any further ado, welcome Austin from MacNCheeasy, the Incubator YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here.
Now, I've been introed a bunch, and that may or may not be the best one. I appreciate all the kind words there, and yeah, I'm excited to be here. It's been a hell of a Monday, but Monday may or may not be my favorite day.
Yeah, awesome, man. I understand. It seems like we get busy over the weekend. I noticed one of your tweets that said Saturday is one of your favorite days to get work done, and but a lot of times we come back from that weekend and there's some stuff stacked up, and it takes us a while on Monday
For
to
sure.
get back into the flow.
No, I love when, because yeah, Monday through Friday, right? When there's people are just working, right? And it's, in my eyes, I like when I just get to let's lean in and to kind of do either the deep thinking, the deep work, or just kind of the more just tasks that you put off during the week, and you can just be relaxed and get things done.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you kind of a morning rituals kind of a guy? Do you get up and meditate and do your working out and kind of get ready for the day?
Yeah. So I actually, since I got back to, I'm in Austin, Texas right now. I've been doing a 5 a.m. workout, 6 a.m. hot yoga, and then I start my day. So I start my day at 5, and then like I start kind of working at around 7:15. I have a protein tea with MCT oil, butter. I usually fast till around 1 or 2. It's yeah. So I do. Long story short, yes. If I
Yeah,
strike
man.
you as a guy who has a morning routine, I definitely do have a morning routine. Although I don't necessarily know if I would say I'm a morning person, but I do have my rituals.
Sweet, man. I love that. And we were talking a little bit before the stream, and I told you, one of the sayings or one of my beliefs is that success leaves clues. And I've noticed that the more that I interview successful people, whether they're 26 or 56, a lot of them have a regimen in the morning, something that gets them up, gets them rolling. They like to work out in the morning, gets them into the right mindset. I've heard it said many, many times, if your body is good, it's the rest will kind of take place. So I've got a few mentors that mention, like, if you're in a bad place in life, if you're hurting financially and you're out of shape and you got relationship troubles, that the easiest place to start that will have the biggest effect on every area of your life is the health. Getting in shape, working out is where you want to start, not on how to make more money, not on how to improve your relationships. And it sounds like you've kind of learned that at a pretty young age in life.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing kind of sports my whole life. My parents kind of instilled like just being active, but yeah, I mean, I'm by no means I'm figuring it out like literally day by day. I literally wrote, so I have things like on my mirror in my bathroom. I literally wrote yesterday that you do not have product market fit. You do not have content market fit. No naps until you find either. Because I am a sucker for naps. And what I found was, even though I was waking up early, I'd take a nap. And it's like, well, why did you wake up early? If you're like, why didn't you just sleep later then? If you so I'm as like everyone, right? I'm figuring it out. I've had a lot of people that have just show, or at least kind of showed me whatever direction, yada yada yada. And I, like, every day I fail more than most, and then I just try and figure it out and just iterate and just keep it moving, is a saying. Like at the incubator, we like to say that, just keep it moving. As long as you keep moving, then you're probably not going to fail, especially in like the content space and the crypto space. If you just keep it going, eventually you'll figure it out. It's when you stop, like the stopping is the failure, not the failure.
Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like, are you one of those people that believes that failure is a part of being successful?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And before I like really got into crypto, I made a personal website and I had like a timeline on it. And on the timeline itself, I had failures. So it was like accomplishments and then it was failures. So this was what I was sending people just to like learn a little bit about me. And they're always like, wait, why do you have failures on here? I was like, honestly, I think those are some of the fun, like those are the fun stories.
Yeah, man, that makes a lot of sense. So before we dive into the more technical or exciting stuff, take us back a little bit. Maybe tell us a little bit about your childhood, what you did for a living before you found crypto, and how you ended up where you are now.
Yeah. So I'm from Long Island, Strong Island. So New York, if you couldn't tell from the gold chain and maybe the accent. So I'm from New York, born and raised, big basketball player. I was always into math, engineering. My first job was I was actually an SAT math tutor in high school because some girl had tweeted, "I'm looking for a SAT math tutor," and at the time, I got like pretty much a perfect score on SAT math, and I was like, "Oh, I could tutor that," even though I had never done it. I was like, "I'll be your tutor," and then
Yeah.
so that was like the first job where I just started teaching people SAT math. I started teaching them other things, and then I went to college to play basketball at Stevens Institute of Technology, where I was a mechanical engineer. That's where I first discovered Bitcoin as a freshman. There's some interesting things that fresh college people can do with Bitcoin at the time. We don't have to get into the detail. And then so was in kind of played college basketball, was studying mechanical engineering. I had a couple different I had a whole student tutoring operation in college. I had Bitcoin miners in the fraternity of my attic so that I didn't have to pay electricity. So the most profitable energy is when you don't have to pay for energy and you can just mine for free, technically. So I had
Yeah.
that. So I was kind of just doing a bunch of stuff just to kind of make money.
And
Various
what year was that roughly?
that was so tutoring. I graduated like pretty much top of my class. So I tutored pretty much every class. So I was tutoring from like sophomore year to senior year. And then I don't know when I got the rigs, probably my
So
junior year.
okay. So Bitcoin and stuff, that mining that happened back in what, 16, 17, 18?
No, no. So that was in college. So sorry, college, not high school, not high school.
Okay.
So college. So I was about probably 19 or 20.
Okay.
Um, yeah, there's a funny picture of me at a bar and whatever, however I got in the bar. We don't have to get into that. But it was a dollar beer night. And so I'm just like pretending to flex with cash, like singles. I had like probably four singles. And then it's my buddy it's like a Snapchat of me and I'm just like flexing it. And he's like, when you're mining Bitcoin in the attic of your fraternity. And it's just like me like this. It's like with $4. So it was whatever, but it was just a fun time. So yeah, and then mechanical engineer, internships, and then kind of first job out of college. And then I just wanted to start learning programming. And I kind of made it so that in my college I was able to finesse learning programming, even though I was a mechanical engineer. So I was kind of close with the whole staff just from kind of performing in class. And I was like, hey, I created my own project idea. And I was like, hey, can we build this? And there was a mechanical engineering component, but I was like, I'm gonna do all the programming for it. So I was able to kind of finesse into this programming route to try and start teaching myself. And then so I was whatever, kind of trying to learn programming. And then I end up going to a party house in Montauk, Long Island, where I didn't know anybody. So I went and it was like a house of like 20 dudes, 20 girls. So it was a good time. If this story doesn't show you that I like having fun, then so I was having fun, and one of the guys that was there ran a Bitcoin ATM company. And I started talking to him because I was interested in crypto. And I was basically like, hey, can I come just like work for you part time? So I started running around all of like New Jersey emptying ATM machines with a lot of cash. I have a lot of funny stories there of just carrying a lot of cash around from these ATMs.
Yeah.
And so that's when I really was like, wait a second, people are actually using this stuff. Like I would empty a machine with, I'd come back the next week. I was like, this money got there somehow. So
Yes.
somebody and so I started learning from them a ton, and I end up building an app with their CTO called Banter, and he introduces me to my buddy Jesse Friedland, and he's helped me. So that's how I met this Jesse, and then yada yada yada. We realized we didn't have an audience for the product. We had a cool product, but nobody wanted to use it. So I was like, you need to get an audience. So how can I get into that? I tried Twitter, and then I started kind of getting into TikTok. Next thing you know, we realized people needed to learn this stuff. It was pretty complex for most people. And then I quickly realized that businesses needed help too. And then so the incubator, we have different arms. We do marketing for companies, Web3 companies, and we also do engineering for them. So building smart contracts, NFT minting pipelines, custom builds, and it's been a fun ride. And I'll tell you one thing: conversations like this, meeting people, it is a dope community, and crypto, with for lack of a better term, definitely changed my life.
Awesome, man. So how long has this business and really where you started taking crypto serious and seeing it as your future been going on?
So really serious once I started creating content, because that's when so I started creating content unknowingly, sort of. I made a video every single Friday for 125 weeks straight of me just on Snapchat. Basically, it started with me saying, "Hey, let's have a fun Friday. Like let's have a good time." Uh,
Yeah.
Seems like there's a running theme in a lot of this stuff. I was like, "Yo, let's have a good time," and then that soon became that was on Snapchat. Went to Instagram, and then a lot of my friends were like, "Whatever, like, why aren't you creating content here? Like, why don't you bring that to TikTok?" So I started with kind of comedy stuff on TikTok, and then I was watching videos on just building audience, and it was like, "What do most people ask you about?" And a lot of people would ask me about crypto because I was working for a Bitcoin ATM company. I knew a lot. I had people who had taught me a bunch. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start creating for crypto. And my goal was create a video every day and see what happens. And on like day 35, I had a video go super viral exposing Mark Cuban's crypto holdings because he leaked them. And I got probably 10,000 followers on that over the course of 3-4 days. And then that was when I was like, wait a second, let's take this a little more seriously. And since then, it's kind of just been okay, like trying to build and doing. Obviously, it helps being an engineer. So I've built some other things on the side and some cool products. So that's helped. And I'm kind of I'm in real estate. I'm in a bunch of different things for in terms of like cash flow.
Yeah. I love it. I love it, man. We'll have to talk sometime after the stream. I think I'm all the way up to about a whopping 175 followers on TikTok. So I
Let's
could definitely
go.
use some tips on how to build that following. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, and I think for the audience, the biggest tip for me is just consistency.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm just gonna keep doing it, and then once you make one video, and you probably realize this, right? Like getting in front of camera, once you get over that, I think that's the hardest hump.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. Once you get used to being on the camera, you hit that record button, and you like your whole persona kind of changes a little bit, and yeah,
Yeah.
I agree definitely. So not to advertise your business, but at the same time, we're here to shine a light on your business. If I were to ask you, what is a perfect client for the
Mhm.
incubator? What would you tell me in case somebody is watching this now or watches the replay and they're like, well, I wonder if this gentleman, this young man can help me in my business. What does a perfect client look like to you?
Yeah, I think the perfect client for me is somebody that I really, really enjoy working with. So an established business that is either somewhat crypto native and wants to explore how they can better leverage it, or an established business that really wants to get into crypto.
Okay.
Those are probably the ideal clients. But we also work with companies that are just trying to attack short form content and marketing. So we specialize in short form, helping people deliver that from personal brands. But I think the ideal client is probably a Web3 company that's looking to, or a tech-based company that's looking to get, I don't even know if tech-based, an established company. like if you're like one of our clients, BDG, they were a fantasy football community, and they had an existing brand business, and then we were tasked with helping them get into the Web3 space. So we ran their NFT launch, we helped them get their strategy, we helped them market it, and they sold it out. And we were like, this is how you can use it. Should we do it? Yes, let's do it. And then we kind of helped made the vision come to fruition, and I learned a ton along the way. So that was a fun time.
Awesome, man. So one of the things that I love about this moment in time is, even though there's a lot that you could be frustrated about and it's easy to kind of get depressed a little bit with the crypto markets, I also really believe that, without the test, there is no testimony. If you take the butterfly that is struggling inside the cocoon and you slit the cocoon and let it out before it's supposed to come out, it just dies because it never, created the strength to fly. So it sounds like you've done a lot of amazing things, had some amazing times, but right now there's a lot of people that are searching for hope. I think people like you and I can give a lot of our viewers hope that right now it might be rough, but it's also an amazing opportunity over the next year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And I'm just curious, do you have any maybe lower points in your life, some things that you went through that were miserable at the time that you're grateful for now?
Nothing. I've been blessed to kind of have I've definitely had like lower points, but not like nothing that would at least on the surface feel like a true hero's journey, or at least I have some growing up high school type stuff, but nothing super super, luckily, knock on wood, or at least in my eyes, as I determined, super lower. But I will say though, right, for like to your point about like the butterfly, like the getting at right, like if you just got out of the cocoon, like whatever, I think a lot of the people, I mean, it's true about the crypto space where if the second the bear market comes, you leave, like you're not going to reap the rewards. And I will say, just because it's definitely very recent from a business perspective, is we were running NFT mints, and that was a source of revenue. As you maybe like, NFT mints are a lot less, and a lot of them are free. So that source of revenue no longer exists. And during the height of the bull, in my mind, I was always, okay, this is great, but what about when the bear market comes? What's going to happen? Well, we're kind of in that, and I think we're still in the maybe the beginning. I don't know. It's hard. Nobody knows, but it's definitely there. So it's building season. But at least in my eyes, I'm like, okay, this is what it's like. Whereas in the bull market, I was like, oh, everything's great. How bad could it get? And I feel like maybe we're close to that. So now it's, hey, can you survive during this time? And if you can survive during this time and you can be here and you can be present, and 2, 3 years from now, you're going to be happy. And frankly, I love this time when people call you crazy. Like
Yeah.
before this bull run happened, I was taking a rent in Bitcoin, and all of my friends were, you are absurd. How could you possibly? And I remember being at a unlimited sushi sake, and again, theme here. And they're like, yo, this guy is nuts. And I'm like, yeah, I'm nuts, whatever. And that was the fun stuff, because just being in crypto, you go against the grain just by being here. So I think this is an exciting time for sure.
Awesome, man. I love it. So, as always, the disclaimer: this is not financial advice. Neither one of us are giving anybody any financial advice. We're just talking about things that we've done in our life, what we're doing that we believe is going to bring us success over the next handful of years. And, going into that theme, for those that are still here with us that are trying to build during this bear market, I know you told me in a message that you are a Bitcoin and Ethereum guy. You don't really stray, too much from that. But it sounds like you also really believe in, is it, correct me if I'm wrong, you believe in the future for the metaverse and Web3 and
Hmm.
NFTs. So if you were talking to my audience right now and talking to a new guy that was trying to decide, maybe, what he was going to do over the next year or two to prepare for the next bull market. Not financial advice, but what kind of tips would you give him?
I might have to throw this back at you because I'm here to learn from you as well. But I right now I'm pretty risk off in a sense that my exposure, I do have a lot of cash, more than I've ever had by a wide margin, just because I'd rather be risk off right now.
Okay.
Um, I mean, people say it all the time, but DCAing into positions. So I'm personally, and from the metaverse perspective, I'm long term bullish. I just don't know where the bet is. So, like, will it survive? Will it be here? I'm not sure. Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're gonna be here. So I'll make bigger, larger plays there. And then my more degenerate stuff, I get out through NFTs, through a bunch of different avenues for the more degenerate stuff. But I think if you believe in something, it's here, and you're willing to weather the storm, just DCAing. But I'm curious from your side, right? You're asking me a ton of questions, and uh, I obviously love to answer and talk, but I would love to hear kind of some of your thoughts on this.
Well, I'm definitely a DCAer myself. I'm very much in the belief, like, if somebody bought some Ethereum today or Bitcoin today, and then next week it halves again, and all of a sudden Bitcoin's at 9,000 and Ethereum's at 600 or 700, in 2 or 3 years they're not going to care. I've seen it in my own life. I got involved in crypto towards the end of 17, beginning of 18, so I watched Bitcoin run from 20 down to 3,500. And my point is, if somebody would have bought it at 20 right at the end of 2017, 3 years or so later, it went all the way up to, 64 to 68,000. Where else in the world could you make 350% on your money in 3.5 years? Very, very few stocks do that. You'd have to be very lucky to pick the right stocks that were going to do that. Yeah, you could get 10 or 15 or 20% a year in the stock market when things are going good, but where are you going to end up with 350%, even though for 95% of that 3.5 years you were underwater by 85%? So it took some intestinal fortitude to hold it. But
for sure.
yeah,
So did
even
you
people,
hold through? You held through all of that?
man, I held. That's the only thing that I did right. But it's also, now that I'm more experienced, I will also say that it's one of the things that I did wrong. So, if you bear with me, in 18, my buddy had turned 9,500 into 2.2 million in 2017, going into 2018. He had begged me to get into crypto. He was buying Ethereum when it was $9. He got into Ant shares, which turned into Neo at around a quarter. It went all the way up to about $196 during the peak of that 17-18 bull market. And so I jumped in right before the end of the bull market. I got to experience 2 or 3 weeks of euphorium. Like, I bought some XRP at a quarter, watched it go up to 360. I thought I was going to be a multi-millionaire in 2018. And instead, I just lost 75, 85, 95, 99% of everything I invested in. But my friend had taught me the vision. He showed me the power of blockchain technology. He showed me how JP Morgan and Charles Schwab and all these guys that were saying Bitcoin was going to zero were all building the infrastructure in the background to on-ramp their clients. And so I knew it wasn't a matter of if, it was just a matter of when. So I say that I did, the one thing I did right was hold, because I held everything. I was in a position where
Time in hands.
my lifestyle was paid for by my job. And when I invested into crypto, I didn't have to spend it. And finally, towards the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, everything came roaring back, and I had positions that went from 95% in the red to 20, 30, 40, 50 X's for me during the bull market. And so, like I said, now this time around, I'm doing a better job of getting into some stable coins, de-risking. I understand a little bit more about the trends.
Mhm.
Like literally in 2018, we didn't know. So like Neo was one of our favorite tokens back then. So when it went from 196, say down to 150, we got excited. We thought, wow,
Right, you
that's a
were like,
great,
"This
that's a
is"
great price.
yeah.
And then from 150 down to 100, we were really hallelujahing things. And then, when it got down to, $25 at that point, I think we finally realized, hey, wait a second here. What's going on? But like we never in our wildest dreams thought that it was going to take all the way till 2021 for it to come, flying back. So
It is crazy. The whole all the cycles. Yeah, and I think a lot of the times when people hear the stories of these cycles, they think that they've missed the last one in a sense that the train has left. And it's just wrong. It's just incorrect. We've seen it time and time again that it's just the next cycle. It's just the next one. If NFTs this time last year, if you got in, you could have it was next level. This was maybe the height of NFTs for me when I was just a Solana degenerate. And it's just being here will good things will happen. And I think price is great, right? Making money is great, but I also think the opportunity for meeting people in this industry has never in this industry specifically and like the web3 culture, the crypto culture, it's kind of like no other industry in a sense that everybody wants you to succeed because the pie is only growing. It's really one of the only industries where the pie has so much growth left that everyone who's here wants to just see people succeed. So, and as a result, there's just this welcoming and this openness to actually helping each other and just being here. So, like, who cares about the price during the bear market? You can just meet people, and those relationships will who knows where those will take you.
absolutely, man. Thank you for sharing that. I've never quite heard it said that way, but it's so true. And I love that point of view, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
sorry, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. No,
No, no,
no,
I
you
was I had nothing of value to say.
so I just, so it sounds like we're, pretty similar minded. Like, do some DCA in. You don't need to go all in right now. We've got some time. I'm of the belief, I could very well be wrong, but I'm of the belief that probably nothing extraordinary is going to happen until after the next halving, which I want to say is in about March of 2024. So I'm expecting the tail end, the second half of 2024 and the beginning of 2025 to be, melt your face off. Absolutely, amazing. Bitcoin to new all-time highs. Ethereum, who knows, 10, 15, 20, 25,000. It's hard to say. But I think that most people have some time right now and they can, just like you said, just kind of slowly dollar cost average your way in, get some good positions. And I was curious, so if somebody did want to learn a little bit more about, being a little bit of a degenerate, maybe they've already got a solid base. I always recommend to the people that I talk to, get a good base of Bitcoin and Ethereum,
Mhm,
some of the top 25. Like I do like Chainlink and Polkadot and
mhm.
Matic and Avalanche and a few of those. Get a base of those. But then when you, like, if you really want to make millions, you got to do, you got to hit 100xer, 1000xer. And so where do you recommend? Is that something, if people go to your channel, do you talk about any of those degenerate plays at all? Some of those more risky plays?
Not too much.
Okay.
I during kind of the NFT run, I'll talk about NFTs and I'll talk about that stuff. Uh, I don't talk be- primarily. It's I just am not really that. I don't have that much exposure in them, and I don't really dabble in them. So for me, it's always been I think you kind of need to practice what you preach, right? So if I'm talking about these 100x altcoins and things that I think can go to 100x, but I don't have any exposure in them, it's like, well, okay, what, like, where's your, like, my money is where my mouth is, which is in
Makes
Ethereum
sense.
and Bitcoin and a little bit of Solana, and I have a ton of NFTs. I work in the space. I believe in where that's going. So yeah, I, I do degenerate plays on I mean, I've had my fair share of degenerate plays for sure. I've gone through a ton of gambling. I there's some stories about gambling from like online sports gambling and things like that. but I didn't necessarily talk about that on my channel.
Okay. Right. Makes sense. So in
Yeah.
the NFT space, where would you recommend people kind of educate themselves? Because there's NFTs that are just kind of art,
Hmm.
and then you have the NFTs that have utility.
Hmm.
And it feels like the best ones to be investing in long term are the ones that have utility, just like cryptocurrency tokens. Like there's a lot of projects out there that have no reason that they need a cryptocurrency token.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them out there that do, that have you real world use and real world utility. So if you wanted to kind of dive into the NFT space a little bit more and educate yourself on what an NFT is that actually has utility, where would you try to go find that information?
So there's you can go to OpenSea, you can just look at top projects. I think those will most likely be out of your price range. Depending on if you're just getting into the NFT space, I think finding the cheapest NFT, if it's $5 that has a community, and just buying it and then just seeing like what the vibe is. I'm part of a number of communities. I work with a number of communities, so I would obviously say them, but I'm not gonna like the I think just finding the cheapest entry point for you to get exposure into the space and just buy it and make that as little as possible so that you can just say, "Hey, oh, I have an OpenSea wallet. Here's my NFT. Here's this. Here's that. Oh, I joined the Discord. I can validate with my wallet." There's a ton of awesome things that are being built as we speak, literally day to day, that are just building out what you can do with it. One of our past clients, they're building out a private jet service for their holders, so you can get discounted jet service. You can get free flights if you're a certain NFT holder. There's a lot that will be built and is currently being built on the incubator, our channel. We have a bunch of new normal episodes. It was our old podcast where we just talk about NFTs. What are NFTs? Different types of NFTs. I think we have a whole NFT playlist that we curated for our community, and that's not a terrible place to start. Just like learning the lingo. But from your side, like with the 100x, because I want to learn a little bit from you. So what are some of your degen plays? What are some of the things that you maybe I should kind of keep an eye on?
For the next bull market, I'm kind of looking at one metaverse play that I like is called UFO.
Okay.
So you've
Hmm.
probably heard about that. I know I heard about it originally from, Leo Trades on
Hmm.
FUD TV. Um, I like another one called Meta Wars. It's just gotten totally smashed in this, in this bear market. But I think if it can maintain and stay in business until the next bull market. One of my favorite degenerative plays. It's not based around NFTs or Web3, but it's called Beam Swap. The ticker for it is Glint, GLINT. And what it is, it's a DEX that is built on top of the Moonbeam network, which won a Polkadot parachain. So Moonbeam is a Polkadot parachain, kind of the same way that Moon River is the Kusama on top of the Kusama network.
I
And
I
so,
I know all these terms, but I'm like it's so beautiful how vast the crypto ecosystem is.
right. So, I know you've heard of Uniswap and
Hmm.
Pancake Swap, and you probably, since you're a Solana guy, you like Radium. So basically, Beam Swap is the DEX that I think is going to be the number one DEX on the Moonbeam network. And I do believe that Moonbeam over the next handful of years is going to become a household name, similar to the way Matic and Avalanche and Solana did during the last bull run. And so, literally, right now, it's sitting at maybe a $200,000 or $300,000 market cap, like super small.
Sheesh.
But they have plenty of funds to be making it through this bear market, like I say, because they're built on top of the
That's what
Moonbeam
you need.
network. And like this is literally a token that I think if I had to bet on one token that had the potential to 10,000x, this would be it. This is literally a token where if you put 1,000 into it, could turn into 10 million. But I'm very, very confident that if you put 1,000 into it, it's turning into at least 100,000. Now, once again, not financial advice. A lot can go wrong, but it's risk versus reward. Like if you put $1,000 into it,
For
the worst
sure.
that can happen is you lose your grand. If it goes like I think it could, you're looking at 100,000, potentially up to $1 million or more on $1,000 investment. It's got an IDO platform. It isn't doing a bunch of IDOs right now because nobody's doing a bunch of
Yeah,
IDOs. There's not a bunch of projects launching, but once the bull market starts to come back and new projects are launching on top of the Moonbeam network, they're going to launch through this beam swap platform. So there's going to be a lot of buy pressure because you got to buy and hold, like a
for
million of
sure.
the tokens to get up into the top tier for the IDO. So that's a couple of my what I would call my small cap, my micro cap plays that I'm slowly getting a hold of a chunk of.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think with anything in crypto, the asymmetric risk profile of all of these assets is what excited me when I first got
Yeah.
into it. Because there's a world where Bitcoin goes to zero, but if it doesn't go to zero, it's probably going to 1,000,000. That's kind of the fact of the matter. So there's a world where Ethereum goes to zero. If it doesn't, it's probably going to 10,000. And this is kind of what I was saying when Ethereum was $200. This is and it's still the case, right? Nothing has changed. It's just more conviction. And so how do you want to, like, how much exposure do you want to certain things? But I love making asymmetric bets and seeing where they can take you, because if you believe in it, then you can only lose what you put in. Of course, on any of these bets, I also look at it like VC funding. So if you look at VCs, this is kind of what you're doing. You're kind of being like a seed investor in a company, because never before this did you kind of have the ability to invest in a startup. Kind of
Yep.
what you're doing in some
Yep.
capacity. It's not necessarily one to one, but if you look at how VCs invest, they spread like a little bit of money across 100 companies, and they hope that one or two or three of them pay for the rest and then some, because the asymmetric risk for each company is, okay, most will fail, but some of them will be unicorns and worth billions of dollars. And if you have
Absolutely.
100 companies that you lose $1 million on, but then one you make $1 billion on, you know, that's a good bet. So that's kind of how I've tackled a lot of my degen plays, is just increasing chances by increasing not US dollar exposure, but project exposure.
Absolutely. That is such a good explanation of crypto. And one of the things that, that really got me excited about crypto is I had trouble, I was 40, I'm 49 now, so I was 44. Hadn't done a whole lot of saving for my future. I was good at making money, but I was good at spending it uh, and having fun. I kind of always wanted my financial freedom, and I kind of took it too soon at times. And so that was one of the things that got me excited about crypto is I saw where I could make exponential amounts of money on my investments. I never got excited about throwing $100 or even $1,000 at a stock, because I'm like, okay, let's say $1,000. If it makes me even 25% a year, that means it's going to be 1250 after 1 year, 15, 1600 after two. Yeah, four years later, I've got a little over 2,000. But who wants to wait 4 years? And then what
I
do you,
think,
even with
yeah, the
a
degens
thousand
in all
extra
of us
bucks, what are you
is
going to do with that?
the
Well, the idea
degens
of
in all of
investing
us.
1,000 and having it turn into 25 or 50 or 100,000, can be pretty exciting. So, real
Yeah.
quick here, I want to hop into the chat, and then we're gonna do a little bit of a giveaway. So those of you that have stuck with us, I appreciate you. And let's just go real fast. Greg got on here early. He was the first commenter. He said, "Austin is the biz. Looking forward to the stream." Thanks, Brad. Yeah, man. Thank you for being here. And yeah, man, I'm so glad that you came on, Austin. You are an amazing wealth of knowledge.
I
We've got
appreciate it.
CryptoCom just saying hi. One of my favoriteest people in the world here. This is my dad. He's always been a huge supporter of this with me. In fact, we've done a lot of our investing together. So there's been hours and hours of
Is
1
is he a
a.m. phone
degen like
calls.
you?
Oh man, he's got just about everything that I own. He's got some of it too. So yeah, he's a degen
Like father,
like
like
me.
son, the degen.
Absolutely, man. He's 81 years old, but loving life. you wouldn't be able to tell it. If you ran into him, you'd probably think he was about 60. We're getting ready to go to the Bahamas for 2 weeks in November, so he's still traveling across countries and stuff. We've got Bayland 11, Bullish. We got Dilemma. Hey, Dilemma, always got good vibes. This is one of my been with me since probably one of my first 100 subscribers. And then another one of my favoriteest people. I've been lucky in life. My wife, Deanna, always hops onto all of my streams, reminds people to hit the like button, subscribe, and everything. So thanks for being here, my love. I appreciate you. My son too. He needs to change his last name. I adopted my son. He wasn't biologically mine, but I became his father when he was about 6. And so I adopted him not too long ago, the beginning of this year. So he's actually Joshua Varnell, but he hasn't changed it on his YouTube. But he's here to support the channel. In fact, he's my editor. And he does all of the short form content. So like the tweets that I did for you and, and different stuff, he puts all of that together for me. I'd be lost without him.
Let's go.
So appreciate him being here. You probably know Sin City Crypto.
City, hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Sin City
I was
Crypto
about to say,
so.
you're in Vegas, right?
Yeah, I live in Vegas also.
I was going to say, man. You got a link with these guys.
Yeah, I've been to their studio and we've become pretty good friends over the last year. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
We were in Bitcoin 2022 in Miami and got to hang out a little bit there and stuff. So yeah, they are great guys. I love their channel. Just a wealth of knowledge. Like you said, consistent. They're on there Monday through Friday. I think it's 10:30 p.m. Pacific or 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 days a week. They got an amazing studio. They really are set up great for YouTubers that have been kind of, only in the space for about a year. They've got an amazing setup. We got
Sage
Galaxy. Is this somebody that you know from your community?
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much thank you for being here. Here's another somebody that must be from my channel because they like Beam Swap. I talk about Beam Swap a lot. And then what do we got here? What's your opinion on Beam Swap versus Stella Swap? I don't know all that much about Stella Swap, so I'm not able to give you a good opinion. What I'm going to do now that we've had a chance to kind of go through the chat is I do want to share my screen here real quick, folks. And we're going to give away $25 in Dimitra tokens. And Dimitra is another kind of degen play. It's down about 99% from its all-time high of $6, I want to say it was. And right now it's about 1.2 cents, but they're still building strong and doing some amazing things. I'm getting ready to have where's the tab? Here's the tab. I'm getting ready to have the founder and CEO of Dimitra on the channel. And so as a preview to that, I'm going to give away $25 worth of Dimitra tokens. If you do the math, if you take $25 here real fast, let me just run it real quick. I was doing this for my dad because he bought $100 worth when he heard about it. Like I said, you don't need a lot. You take 25 divided by, let's just call it 1.3 cents to be safe. That's 1,923 tokens times if it goes back up to its all-time high of $6. That'd be $11,538. So this $25 in Dimitra tokens that you're getting today could turn into several thousand for you if you decide to hold on to it. And the way that we're going to give it away here is I just pulled up the Incubator YouTube channel. I'm going to throw a link here in the description. And what I want you guys to do is I want you to go subscribe to the Incubator right now, especially if you're part of my community and this is one of your first times, seeing MacNCheeasy, seeing Austin here, go subscribe to his channel. I've been watching some of his content over the last week, and I've also had the opportunity to spend some time listening to him on Around the Blockchain. BitBoy Crypto's Around the Blockchain. He's been a guest speaker there multiple times, and he really has some amazing information and some amazing mindset stuff too that we're going to get into. But to start with, let's go there, and then let's just pick out one of his videos here. I just clicked on the wrong link, but let's click on one of his last videos here. It looks like the last main video that he did here, that's not a short, is the merge complete. What's next for NFTs? And that looks like a full-length video, so I'm going to pull that up. Looks like about a 46-minute live stream. what I want you guys to do is go to his channel, and I want you to make a comment on this video. Say something about, Infinite Crypto sent you or whatever, so that we
Hell
know
yeah.
that it's a fresh comment. For those of you that are coming in after the live stream is over, I'm going to do another giveaway for people that are watching the replay. So still go here and do this. Put that comment in. I'm going to go back in a couple of days and give another 25 away to somebody that was doing this on the replay. But folks, go hop over to his channel and show him some love, man. He's taken some valuable time out of his busy day to be
appreciate
here
it.
with us. We appreciate him, man. So
I
let's all
appreciate. Make sure to smash the like button on this video and leave a comment, subscribe, because that helps get this video to more people. And I appreciate you having me on, and the giveaway here. I do appreciate that, and it's fun. So I thanks for that, and make sure to smash the like button. That's for damn sure.
Thank you, man. Hey, you're welcome. And I can't take credit for this. I was on Cowboys of Crypto. Remember, I think you were, yeah, he was on the same live stream as us on September 13th.
Mm-hmm.
And he's had me on his channel a couple of times, and he's got 30,000 something subscribers. And here he is. I think it's just amazing that he's cool enough to have me on his channel, even though I've only got 3,400 subscribers. But he did that for me. He went to my YouTube, told his community to go subscribe and comment, and then he gave away like 25 or 50 bucks to somebody in his community. And I ended up picking up, 30, 40, 50 subscribers. And he endeared me. I would go out of my way to do anything that I could to help him in life. And I decided that when I have guests on, that I wanted to reciprocate that and do that for them. And so, man, it's my pleasure. But Cowboys and Crypto started the trend.
That's a pretty awesome trend. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that was the first time I was like, wait a second, that's pretty dope. So yeah, I have it written down in my little book. I'm like, that's a fun way to do it. So yeah, no, that was a fun stream. And yeah, I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. And then I'm going to share your Twitter page also, because there's a couple of things on your Twitter that I really wanted people to see. And so this is Austin's Twitter. You can find him here at MacNCheeasy. And one of the things that really attracted me to you, Austin, and one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the channel was I've been looking at your tweets, and a couple of things that you said here really, really stuck out to me. And so I want to scroll down here and show you guys a couple of the things that I think are so important, and a couple of the reasons that I believe Austin is having success in life. Once again, we said it earlier in the show that success leaves clues, but this hit me right between the eyes. If you surround yourself with the right people, it's almost impossible to be motivated. And I love that tweet. And it's powerful, folks. Most of you have maybe heard this. If you haven't heard it, let me say it a different way. If the 5 people that you hang around the most, you're going to become the 6th. If you hang around 6 people that aren't winning in life, that are just, wandering aimlessly and not doing anything, you're going to become the 6th. If you hang around 6 successful people that are making money and enjoying life, you're going to become the 6th. If you hang around 5 out of shape people that, are couch potatoes playing video games all day long, you're going to become the 6th. Same thing on the vice versa. If you want to get in shape and you want to be healthy, start hanging around people that are in shape. Start hanging around people that are healthy. So this showed me your mindset, which is what I really look for when I'm, looking to build relationships and looking to build friendships and looking to have people, on my channel. I love this one too. Potential hot takes. Saturdays are my favorite day to get work done. Folks, if you're working a 40 an hour, 50 an hour a week job Monday through Friday, and you're coming home and just doing nothing on Saturday, it's going to be tough to create wealth. If you are working hard right now, but you want more, you got to carve out a little bit of time. They say that you pay your bills from 9 to 5, you make your fortune from 5 to 9, or on the weekends.
I like
you
that.
Got to carve,
That's fire. That's a tweet right there.
Yeah, maybe it is. I probably need to make more of these tweets. I'm trying to build up my following, and maybe that is a good tweet. I've learned so many things over the years from the successful people that I've associated with, and I probably do, need to maybe tweet that out. And then even this one right here, they can't see the vision. Boy, they must be out of focus. That's so important. Focus is key. What
That,
you focus on grows.
that's I think that's a song quote also, just a
Okay.
heads up. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not me. I gotta give credit. Maybe I gotta for all my song quotes. Maybe I gotta quote them. Do you think I should? If it's a song quote?
I mean, you could say, but it doesn't. I mean, I don't think that it matters. I just think that it's powerful. I mean, if
Well,
people
that's
really
why I
read
tweeted
this,
it. I was
yeah,
like, whenever I hear a song quote and I'm just listening to music, I'm like, wait a second, that resonates. I'll just tweet
awesome. And then he's not gonna talk about them because you
it.
know it's something he doesn't want to advertise himself too much. But guys, you got to go check out the Goons. You'll see these tweets inside his Twitter feed. I know that this is a project that he is really super excited about. In fact, if you go up to the top of his page and look at his pinned tweet, the very first tweet here, um, you know top NFT collectors like Gary V and at Banks bet on projects that deliver, and that's why they bet on at Crypto Goons. So they launched their second project not too long ago, and so definitely take a look at this. And if you haven't subscribed to his YouTube channel and you haven't gotten on his Twitter yet, I don't know what to tell you, man. I can't help you if you won't go help yourself. But
And make sure to subscribe to this channel and set alerts, right? So giveaways, talking, having a good time. I'm excited to kind of see your growth, right? Because you like you were persistent, right? So I'm obviously like I'm pretty busy, right? And I love hopping on things like this. And I'm always doing so many things, and your persistence and just kind of how I'm excited to see your growth because like it's just awesome. Just like I because I'll message people freaking 30 times, and that's not what obviously happened. But like I bet if I didn't answer, you would have.
I would have
Which
absolutely,
is
man.
and I do the same thing where I'll just if I'm like message like hey, and then I think you sent a tweet with the at like those little things are just it's beautiful because I'm like that is exactly how I like that is amazing that so I'm excited because you're gonna keep it moving, you're gonna keep it growing, and I love being part of this community because the people we're meeting today are going to be the people we're going to be working with for the next 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah, absolutely. My goal is to help thousands of people create freedom in their lives, whatever that means to them. But I think freedom is why we're here.
For
It's,
sure.
we want to have options. Freedom is options, and so we're doing good work here. We're helping people, and I know that that's why we are growing. One more question. I've been doing this real quick with people. Yeah, I'm gonna put you on the spot here a little bit. But most of the successful people that I've met in my life have been readers, at least to a certain degree. And so I'm going to name off the title of a few books. And I just want you to tell me if you have or have not read these books. Probably not gonna. That's okay. Well,
Yeah.
if you haven't, it's okay. But let's start with the first one. There's a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Ever heard of that?
I've heard of it, haven't read it.
Okay. What about Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill?
I've heard of it, haven't read it.
What about Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki?
Heard of
Heard
it,
about it
haven't
but
read
not
it.
read it? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you get to be this amazing, positive, life affirming, person without kind of programming your mind with all of the positivity? I mean, there's so much negative in the world that it's so hard to be positive for a lot of people unless they really are focused on it, unless they're intentional about it. So I'm curious, where do you get this positive that you've
Uh,
got without really?
it is a great question, right? Because I think so going all the way back to when I was like literally a baby, and this is probably whatever. I was like my nickname was Tickle Me Elmo or something, as like a really big, because I was always laughing and I was always smiling. So part of me thinks that I'm just kind of normally just positive and energetic. That's so just from a personality trait, I think that's kind of at least sort of how I am. But I think the like the and right, of course, I'm not always optimistic. It's like everyone, right? There's ebbs and flows to it. I think it's just a testament of the people I'm around, and just being around the right people does so much. And the I mean, so I'm not a huge reader, and I've gone through like where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read a book a week, and I do that. For me, it's always just been a little bit of a chore. I'm constantly learning through different avenues, but yeah, I probably need to read a little bit more. But no, I mean, I have my routines, right? I talked about I've done hot yoga every day or every day pretty much. I'll do meditation, I'll do journaling, I'll do these other things. I
Yep.
said how I wrote on my bathroom wall that I don't have product market fit and I don't have content market fit. I have a bunch of other things written literally on my mirror when I'm brushing my teeth. And I'm personally just a big believer in just like writing little things down. So like literally write on my I was mentioning how would take naps. I literally just like let's see if you can read that, but 7 hours
Got
is more than enough. That's me telling myself that if I get 7 hours of sleep, I don't need a nap. So I have on my coffee mug, I have be different. I have I just have things just all around me. I have The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. I haven't even read this book, but I just love the messaging and just the mindset that like it doesn't really matter a lot of this stuff. So I
Yep.
have constant reminders all around me, and that's just how
Yep.
I live, so that I constantly have this feedback loop of positivity and energy and motivation, because I think motivation, people think that it's this endless source of energy, but in reality, I think motivation's a lot closer to a fire where you need to constantly produce or provide it wood, otherwise it won't be
Yeah.
lit anymore. So finding a way to constantly position myself to kind of continue that motivation. So long-winded answer for I probably should read those, but
Yep.
yeah.
Maybe someday, but I mean, you're doing fantastic without them, so that's great. Something that you said that spurred another thing was, I think another thing that successful people do is everybody is on it when they are motivated, when they're at the top of their game, when they're feeling great. I think what separates the very successful people from the not successful people is successful people do it even when they don't feel like it. You wake up tomorrow, it's been a tough night, you didn't get as much sleep. You're not going to say, I'm going to skip the hot yoga today. You're going to go do it whether you feel like it or not. And I think that's a key differentiator between high elite level achievers and the average person too. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so, but yeah, just to be clear, I don't think I'm there yet. I have a lot I have to figure out and do. But yeah, I think that you're some of your habits. And if you have the right habits over time, good things will happen. And for me, good things have happened, but I'm by no means like I literally wrote on the thing yesterday because I'm not necessarily happy with where we are from a product market fit and a content market fit from a business. So,
I love it,
and
man.
yeah, so I'm
If it makes you
figuring it
feel
out.
any better, you're 26. You're not supposed to have it all figured out. And if you really are truly in the right mindset and you have a growth mindset, we could come back here in 26 more years when you're 52 and you're going to tell me I've got more figured out than I did the last time we talked, but I still have so much that I don't know and that I don't have figured out. And at 88 and whatever, however long you
I'm
live,
sure.
you're going to tell me the same thing because that's another thing. Winners, are never done learning. We're never gonna have it all figured out. And so you've got
Yeah.
such an amazing mindset. I'm looking forward to seeing your growth, and I'm looking
I
forward to seeing the Austin that
I
in 5 or 6
I
years.
appreciate that. I think one thing that's important is this there's always the, oh, I could be better, I could be better, I could be better. But one thing that I'm personally trying to improve on is kind of reflecting on the progress. So I like to occasionally do a little bit of a thought experiment where it's, hey, Austin of 4 years ago, what would he think of me today? And I think the answer is that I would be pretty damn impressed, or I'm pretty happy with the progress. So I think we can a lot of the times get caught up on the next thing. So I try and work it into my schedule where I'll reflect and I'll be like, hey, I think you would have been happy with the progress you've made. And I think it's important to acknowledge that. So, of course, it's this constant
Absolutely.
growth mindset, but setting periodic check ins to acknowledge that is, I think, important.
I love it. Are you able to go over to your YouTube channel and help me pick a winner?
Sure.
Cool. If you want to go to that video, the merge, and take a peek at the comments, and whatever comment strikes you, whatever comment resonates with you and that you like, feel free to pick out a winner for the $25 in Dimitra tokens.
Hell yeah. Wait a second. My internet is rug pulling me on the YouTubes. Where we got YouTube, your channel. Da-da-da. Oh, let's see here.
There's a few of them. There's always more people, watching than are actually in the chat. So sometimes I'm like, man, there's only, few comments by a few people. And then I come over here and there's, 15 or 20 comments on the YouTube.
Yeah, I love it. It's hard because I'm seeing people that I know from
Well, I tell you what, you pick somebody that you think is from my community, and then I'm gonna double it up and pick somebody from your community.
okay. Let's do 151 crypto.com. Sup Infinite
One,
and MacNCheeasy.
let me see here.
Or Dick Mo with the beam swap.
There we go. Sup Infinite and MacNCheeasy. Okay, so 151 crypto. If you are still on the live stream, do me a favor. This is an ERC based 20, 20 based token. So shoot me your Ethereum MetaMask address. Just put it in the about of your YouTube channel. So just go to your about on your YouTube channel, throw in the web, not the website, the wallet that you would like me to send those tokens to, and I will shoot you $25 worth of Dimitra tokens, and then I will go ahead and give Sage Galaxy 25 in Dimitra tokens too. So please, Sage
Heyo.
Galaxy. Is that
Yeah.
cool?
Hell yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you for being here and supporting your boy. It's always nice when you're on somebody else's stream and your community, your family comes and joins. So we appreciate you doing that. And anyways, man, I loved all your comments. So Sage Galaxy, do the same thing. And then if you guys could do me a favor, you do make my life slightly easier. If you make a comment after we're done here, after this video is over, if you make a comment, it makes it a little bit easier for me to find your YouTube channel and get your wallet address. That would be fantastic. So, but one way or another, we'll get that done. And man, we've been going a little over an hour. I want to respect your time. I know you've still got a busy evening, a lot of things going on, probably some more, clients to talk to, some more appointments booked.
We
But
got a lot of work to do.
once again, man, I feel like I made a new friend, somebody that 10 or 15 years from now, I'm going to be sitting on a tropical beach with my toes in the sand. We're going to be looking back at days like today and laughing and having a good time. So thank you so much for being here, and let's definitely stay in touch.
Thank you. And thank you everybody to your community I hope you enjoyed this. I hope maybe you learned something. I hope you just maybe were entertained for a little bit. And yeah, I'm bullish. I'm bullish on this channel. I'm bullish on this community. And if you stay here, you're going to be happy.
Awesome, folks. All right, man. God bless everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you all soon.